Every single day, you wake up thinking about money, the food you'll eat, the clothes you'll wear, the electricity keeping your room cool. Almost everything in your life has a price. But for over 99% of human history, money didn't even exist. No wallets, no banks, no salaries, no shopping. So here's the question. How did ancient humans survive every single day without the one thing modern life seems impossible to live without? The answer isn't just surprising. It might completely change the way you look at your own life. Because the truth is, your ancestors weren't working for money. They were working for something far more important. Survival. So, let's travel back nearly 300,000 years, world without money. The first rays of sunlight slowly spread across the land. There are no roads, no houses, no smoke rising from factories, only endless forests, open grasslands, and a small group of humans waking up together. Nobody reaches for a phone. Nobody checks the time. Nobody rushes to work. Because work, as we know it today, doesn't exist. Instead, the very first thing your ancestor does is look around. Is everyone safe? Did anything dangerous come near the camp during the night? Are there fresh footprints nearby? Thousands of years ago, ignoring these questions could mean dying before sunset. And once everyone knows the camp is safe, a much bigger problem appears. Food. Not because they wanted breakfast, but because if they failed today, their family might go to sleep hungry tonight. And this is where most people get ancient humans completely wrong. They imagine endless hunting. Hunting was dangerous. One wrong step, one angry animal, one broken leg, and a healthy hunter could become the next meal. So instead of sending everyone into the forest, each person had a different role. The strongest hunters tracked animals across the land. Others searched for berries hidden beneath bushes, dug up edible roots, collected nuts, or gathered wild fruits growing on nearby trees. If their camp was close to a river, fishing became one of the safest ways to find food. Every member of the tribe had one goal: bring something back, because even a handful of berries could help keep someone alive. But nature didn't always cooperate. Some days, the hunters returned with nothing. No deer, no rabbit, not even a bird. Imagine walking for hours, burning all your energy, only to return empty-handed, knowing your children were still waiting for food. They waited, not for another hunt, but for another predator. Lions, wolves, or giant cats would kill an animal, eat what they needed, then leave. Only after the predators disappeared would humans carefully approach, taking whatever meat was left behind. It wasn't glorious. It wasn't heroic. But survival has never cared about pride. It only rewards those who stay alive. And once the food was finally brought back to camp, something even more surprising happened. Nobody reached for a wallet, because there was nothing to buy. Think about this for a second. Imagine you desperately need a sharp spear, but there's no shop, no market, no online delivery, and even if there was, you have nothing called money to pay with. So, what did ancient humans do? They traded. Not with coins, but with trust. A skilled toolmaker could exchange a strong spear for fresh meat. A hunter might offer animal skins in return for warm clothing. Someone who knew how to build a shelter could help another family and receive food instead. Every person had something valuable to offer, not because they were rich, but because they had useful skills. And sometimes, they didn't trade anything at all. They simply shared. If one hunter caught more meat than his family could eat, he shared it with the rest of the tribe, because next week, he might return empty-handed. And then, someone else would share with him. In a world without money, your greatest wealth wasn't gold. It was people who trusted you. But here's the strange part. Once everyone had eaten, the day wasn't over. In fact, it was only just beginning. Because ancient humans had free time. Here's something that completely changed the way scientists think about ancient humans. They didn't spend every waking hour trying to survive. In fact, many hunter-gatherer tribes finished most of their essential work in just a few hours. But they didn't waste it. Children practiced throwing tiny spears, learning the same survival skills they would need as adults. The elders gathered everyone together, sharing stories about dangerous animals, hidden water sources, and lessons that could one day save a life. Those stories weren't just entertainment. They were the world's very first classroom. Others repaired broken tools, carved wooden handles, or carefully shaped sharp stones for tomorrow's hunt. Some painted on cave walls, not because anyone paid them. Even thousands of years ago, people laughed together, played games, sang songs around the fire, and celebrated another day of survival. The more scientists learn about ancient humans, the clearer one thing becomes. They weren't simply trying to stay alive. They were building friendships, sharing knowledge, creating memories, and living as a community. But everything was about to change. One discovery would completely reshape the human day forever. Farming. Humans stopped constantly moving. They began farming. For the first time, people could grow more food than they needed. They stored grain, built permanent homes, owned land, and as villages slowly grew into cities, life became more complicated. Imagine you have a bag of wheat, but you need a goat. The farmer with the goat doesn't want wheat. He wants pottery. Now you have a problem. The old way of trading no longer worked. People needed something that everyone agreed had value. And little by little, that idea became money. It didn't appear overnight. It evolved over thousands of years, eventually becoming the coins, the paper, and the digital numbers we use today. Money solved many problems. It made trade easier. It helped civilizations grow. It allowed the world to become more connected than ever before. But people started working for tomorrow's wealth. And over thousands of years, our lives became increasingly organized around earning, saving, and spending. Now think about your own life. You probably woke up today, checked your phone, thought about school, work, bills, or something you needed to buy. Your ancestors woke up thinking about something completely different. Their family, their tribe, their next meal, different worlds, different priorities. Yet, inside your brain, the same ancient human still exists. The same brain that enjoys sitting around a campfire with friends, making something with your own hands, walking through nature, or spending time with the people you care about. Maybe that's why a part of you still remembers the life your ancestors once lived. And perhaps, the greatest thing they were rich in wasn't money at all. It was time. Money changed the world, but it never changed what it means to be human. Maybe the richest people in history were the ones who never needed money in the first place.